Well, howdy there, partner. A lot of folks say that reverse searing is the best way to cook a steak. So I went out and bought me a Cowboy Ribeye to put it to the test.
Sorry, I had a little tumbleweed stuck in my throat. Now, you could be wondering, what in tarnation does reverse searing even mean? Well, it's pretty simple. It's basically cooking a steak at a low temperature for a long period of time, and then taking it to a really hot pan and giving it a nice sear. The benefits of using this method are, your steak is going to be extremely tender, evenly cooked throughout, the recipe is foolproof, and there's no fancy equipment needed. The obvious downside is, it's going to take a while. For this 2-inch thick ribeye, I put it in a 225 degree oven for about an hour and a half. Other recipes may suggest an oven temperature of 250 or 275, but I wanted to go lower to render or melt that intermuscular fat. Based on the size of your steak and how you want it cooked, the oven temperature and the time is going to vary. I'll include some guidelines in the description. Now, when this thing comes out of the oven, it's not going to look too pretty, but just have a little bit of faith. Before we move on to searing, we're just going to let this rest for about 10 minutes. Alright, go ahead and get your cast iron skillet hotter than a $2 pistol and throw in a little bit of high smoke point oil. I suggest using avocado oil. Once your skillet's ready, add your steak and let it sear undisturbed for about 60 to 90 seconds, just until a nice crust is formed. You don't want this to necessarily cook the steak, we're just looking for a nice, quick caramelization. Okay, now flip the steak and sear the opposite side. Add some herbs to the skillet along with some butter. And then you can baste the steak with the melted butter while it finishes searing. Also, I'm just going to ask for a little favor. If you're getting any value or entertainment out of this video, please give me a like and subscribe. If I'm being completely honest, I did let these sear for a little bit too long on each side while I was fiddling around with the cameras, so my end result is going to be a little bit more medium than medium rare. People claim with this method you don't need to let the steak rest in the end of searing, but I let mine rest for about 5 minutes, and I wish I would have let it rest a little bit longer. When I went to slice the steak, I lost a lot of the juices, but this could also be because I let it sear for a little bit too long. While this might not be the best technique for every type of steak, I'm pretty convinced that this is the best way to cook a thick cut ribeye.